little interview with Saeed, one of our students from Circle of Change Leadership Conference, and we're going to learn more about him and learn about his long-term, short-term goals and things he has encountered and the experiences he has and leadership he's built throughout the years to reach his goals. And we're also going to talk a little bit about what he believes his purpose is in life and what he's doing to achieve it. So, Saeed, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Keisha. It's great to be here.
Yes. So Saeed and I, we met back in November at the Circle Change Leadership Conference, and he was actually in my group, and he always stood out to me because he always came up and he had a lot of energy, and he was always dressed up in his suit every single day. You know, like as the conference progresses, some people they wear their suits the first day, and then you just like slowly are less super professional. And he always had a suit on, and he always was very involved and interesting to be around. So that's why I chose you to talk to today, because I feel like you would be a great inspiration to other people and other students
Thank you so
striving to achieve. So why don't you
Thank
go
you
ahead
so
and
much. Thank you so much.
Yes. Why don't you go
Thank
ahead
you
and
so
tell
much
us
for
a little
having me,
more about
Keisha.
yourself?
All right, so hi guys. My name is Saeed Ahmad. I'm a junior here at UCLA. I'm actually right in front of the Royce Hall right now. I'm in the middle of summer classes, but so I graduated from high school in 2016, and I went to community college, Norco College, for 2 years. And around the middle of my time at Norco College, I joined an organization called Student Ambassadors, and it was led by soon-to-be Dr. Mark Hartley. And as part of that organization, I had a variety of jobs, and it taught me leadership skills. I was employed there. I worked as a receptionist, and I worked at select student galas. And it was around, say, October, November's time that Mark came up to me, and he said, you know what, Saeed, I want the student ambassadors to go to this conference called the Circle of Change Leadership Conference. It's going to be in Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I want you guys to go there. You'll have the time of your lives, and you'll learn how to network with other people. You'll learn how to build a resume, and you'll learn skills that will help you in your career, and you'll be able to foster connections that will last you a lifetime potentially. And that's how I was drawn to the Circle of Change Leadership Conference.
That's wonderful. So what are some of your interests, some of your goals that you have? And you said you're at UCLA right now. So
right.
How did you even get to go to UCLA coming from community college? You know, so a lot of people have misconceptions about community college. I also came from a community college.
Yeah.
I went to Cal State Long Beach. So you're going to UCLA. Tell us how that process was, how it impacted you, and why you wanted to go to UCLA.
You know, so in high school, I wasn't the best student, and it wasn't because I wasn't smart. It was more I had some distractions. I didn't have very good time management skills, and that kind of reflected in my grades. But I was able to take AP classes, and I was able to pass my AP classes with 4s and 5s. And I had many friends from my community who went to community college, and they transferred out in 2 years. I have another friend who's at UCLA currently, and they're all over the campus. And I was intrigued. I was like, I thought everyone talks about community college, like that's where people who couldn't get into a 4-year or who couldn't get into the university they wanted, they don't know the vast benefits of community college. People sleep on community college. And what I was able to do is I was able to find connections at the community college, and the best counselors, especially the Norco College Honors Program, that really connected me with people who could further me in my dreams. So I went to Norco College in summer 2016, armed with some AP credit, and I was able to make a full list of classes that I wanted to take, and I chose my major. So ever since high school, I wanted to become an attorney. I wanted to help people. And I had an event where a friend of mine was falsely accused of a crime. And all through that ordeal, his credibility was ruined. And I just wanted to help people like that whose reputations were ruined for actions that they may have not committed. And I just wanted to fight for truth and justice. And that kind of motivated me to study to become an attorney. And I chose my major as psychology. And so I spent 2 years at Norco College. I was a psychology major, and I transferred out right after, about 6 months after the Circle of Change Leadership Conference took place. And it was in around April that I remember opening my acceptance letter to UCLA. And I was so nervous, but I ended up opening it. I made sure none of my family was there, just in case. But I ended up opening it, and I just screamed out because I was accepted into the #1 public university in America. #1, not #2. Berkeley's #2. UCLA is #1.
That is great. That is wonderful. So it's great how you progressed from community college to the #1 university, public university in the nation. So I also came from a community college. I came from Pasadena City College. And as you said, people do undermine community college, and they don't know the benefits you have. You have smaller classrooms, you get more attention with your professors, you get to be the same involvement as you have you do all of these too at a lower cost. So sometimes people think that it's just like you didn't get into the big community or the big university that you just have to go to community college. But I'm so very proud of my community college and where I came from.
Absolutely.
You are too, because at the Circle of Change Leadership Conference, every time they said Norco College, you could hear the pride.
Oh yeah. People started getting annoyed too, but it's okay.
Because half the conference was Norco College, and they were
yes, absolutely.
Feel the bond of people that came from there, and they were all so involved and happy to be there, excited to be there. So
there is a sort of a social stigma that surrounds community colleges, and people think that when you think of community college, you think you go in, you get out, you don't really interact with people. But my experience was way different. I was in student ambassadors. I was president of the Norco College Pre-Law Society. I was a member of the Political Science Club, and I was one of the directors for the honors program. And I met the best people in those types of organizations, because those are the people who had similar goals, similar aspirations to me. They were hardworking. They go to schools such as Berkeley, UCLA, UCR, Cal State Fullerton, Cal State LA, even out of state, you know. And I was able, because you are who you hang out with. And I surrounded myself with people who were positive and people who had goals in community college. Their goal wasn't to stay there. Their goal wasn't to get stuck. Their goal was to get in and get out.
Yes, and grow from it. So that was kind of my experience as well in community college. There was this one professor that I took 3 classes with just because I loved him so much, he thought, and because of the one-on-one attention you get from them. And these are things that coming straight out of high school, you may not get going into a 4-year college. So
absolutely.
So that's why I'm also so proud of my community college where I went to. I was also involved in student leadership. I was involved in the associated students there. So I agree. Community colleges have way better turnouts than they do not. So what are some of your short-term goals and long-term goals that you have set for yourself, and what are you doing to achieve them?
So one thing I'd like to point out is part of the reason for my relative success in a relatively short time was that I created lists of short-term and long-term goals that I had, and I wrote them down, and sometimes they would be amended, but at the end of the day, I never lost sight of my goal. So my goal right now is, so I'm at UCLA, I'm a junior, I'm 19 years old. My goal is to graduate from UCLA by 2020 with my undergraduate degree in psychology. After that, I'd like to go to law school. So the law schools of my choice, the ones that I really want to go to, include UCLA Law School, UC Berkeley Law School, Harvard Law School, Yale Law School, and I'm interested in Hastings Law School too in San Francisco. And so therefore, to get into these top flight law schools, I'm going to need a balance of a good LSAT. So preferably 168 or up. and to get into the Harvards and Yales, I'll need something in the 170s, and to get into, and I'll also need a top tier GPA. So I will need to maintain a 3.7 or higher. One thing, the only disadvantage that I'd see going from community college to university, right, such as the Cal State or a UC, is that in community college, you're graded on an A, B, C, D scale. So an A is a 4.0, a B, C, and then you go down. But once you reach university, those pluses and minuses really matter. A 91%, a 90% can drop you down to a 3.7. So always need to be aware of those little percentage points. And I want to keep, preferably, I want a 4.0 GPA.
That's great.
Yeah.
You work for that. So I actually don't have the same experience, because when I went to Cal State Long Beach, we don't have the pluses and minuses. So I don't know how to do it. So I'm pretty sure you will do great, honestly. I think you have the determination for it. And
Thank you.
Motivation. I have a friend. She also went to community college with me, and straight out of community college, she was accepted into Harvard. So I'm pretty sure
wow. That's amazing.
So,
you need to give me the contact information for that friend.
Yes. So we talked a little bit about Circle of Change, so how you got involved in Circle of Change, but tell me a little, or let's tell the viewers a little more about the Circle of Change Leadership Conference and your experience there, what you took away from it, and what your favorite parts were.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to start off. So soon to be Dr. Hartley came up to me and a couple of my friends, and he said, you know what, I want you to go to the Circle of Change Leadership Conference. It's a great opportunity for you. And like I said, you'll build many connections and you'll have the time of your life. And if I was to find a motif, something that was repeated many times, it would be that people told me that Circle of Change was a blast and it was the time of their life. And I was really confused. I didn't understand this, because I don't understand how like a traditional like corporate networking event, suit and tie, you're meeting with professionals. How can you spin that and make that into a fun event? And it just blew my mind. So I was like, you know what, I have to go and see what they're talking about. So I still remember we came to the Cal State Dominguez Hills campus. I'd never gone to Cal State Dominguez Hills. First, I'd like to say it was such a beautiful campus when we walked in, a beautiful architecture, and the guards were very nice. And we proceeded to go to the check-in area for the Circle of Change conference. We were provided lunches, and we were provided our own name tag and even business cards to put in our pouch. And I still remember walking into the conference room, and it was a completely different vibe than what I sensed from what you would think from a from like a corporate event that you would think. So the music was playing, people were dancing, people were interacting, but there was still that professional vibe there. Everyone had a suit on. It genuinely felt to me that people were having fun. And we all settled down, and there were games, the shirts were being thrown to people. And then I remember Mr. Joshua Friedenberg came up and gave a speech, and I could have left right then, because that's how amazing his speech was. Then when he talked about Circle of Change, he talked about the different executives that are brought in, and I was just dumbfounded. And me and my friends, we went in, and we were just amazed just at the first day of the conference. And this was a multiple day conference, so
3-day conference, the whole weekend.
Exactly. You're going to have to ask me specifics from each day, because there was so many good things from the Circle of Change conference.
I have kind of the same experience, because when my supervisor came to me and she was like, oh, you're going to, do y'all want to go to a conference? I was like, sure. Me and my coworkers were going to go, but I thought it was going to be, a super professional one. But then the first day, I kid y'all not, the first day we got there, it's like 8 a.m. in the morning. You're sluggish. You're like, I don't want to go. I'm like, ugh. And then the first thing they have is music playing, and they're like, everybody off their seats, and we're all bumping to music, and you're immediately awake, and you're immediately excited to be there. So that's what I love, and that's why I did not mind at all. I was super excited to go back to the second day and third day. I was not at all disappointed by my experience there. And on top of that, you get all those connections and you get to meet incredible people that have already established a career or that are already out there doing the most that they can do. So I really liked it. And to Joshua's speech too, I keep remembering this until today. Leadership is service, and that's one of the key things. Oh
yes, absolutely.
He's like, yes.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes,
absolutely.
Leadership is service. And that's what I'm.
One thing I was
going through.
One thing I was really able to gain from that conference was.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And one of the themes that I saw from the conference that every single person talked about was the concept of a personal brand. And I won't go in too deep about personal brand because people need to go to the conference to find out how much of a necessity that is. But personal branding is important. You need to know who you are, what your skills are, and what value you bring to whatever goal you have or whatever job that you're doing.
Yes.
And I still remember, and I learned many things. So obviously I'm not going to say everything that I learned because some things you can only learn from going to the conference. But one specific thing I learned so there was a mixer, and I believe there were representatives from ZipRecruiter and other LinkedIn and other agencies that specialize to build a resume, and they gave us basic points on a resume. And I still remember one tip they gave me. They were specifically not to put high school information on your resume, specifically how to format it the right way. And I just felt it's those small little things that make the biggest difference when employers look at your resume. Because I've heard employers, they don't spend 20, 30, 40 minutes on each resume. It might be 30 seconds, it might be a minute, and you need to make most of that 30 seconds and minute you have. You need to find a way to stand out.
I agree. I was recently on an interview committee, or a search committee, so I can definitely tell you that that's really how it is. When I had those 60 resumes in front of me, I was not about to take 10 minutes per resume. The first day I was like, oh my God, this is but the second day I was just going through them, looking at their experience, how it matches with this job. And if not, then you just go through them. So definitely that's a very great advice that we had. Those were the breakout sessions that we had with all the professionals. And
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was great. Joshua, did you have anything you wanted to add about Circle of Change?
Yeah,
Joshua is the founder of Circle of Change.
No, I'm just having a good time listening. I think, Lakeisha, you're doing a phenomenal job as the interviewer. And I think Saeed's doing a wonderful job at sharing knowledge. And really it's good for me because I'm
just being honest.
Yes, and it's really good for me because I get to get your perspective. I really get to see some things that I don't always get to see as being a founder. Like, it's the time of your life and the music and the having fun. And so I'm automatically thinking when I'm promoting and I'm sending the information out, have the time of your life. So it's great to hear how it's impacting you and how you're doing well. And also I'm just excited about, how you talk about the importance of community colleges. Because I think sometimes people try to give it a bad stigma, but to see two incredible young people that are doing great things that came out of community colleges, I think that's awesome. And I think it's amazing. It says a lot for what community colleges are doing to raise up as well. So that's really awesome to me.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. So actually, a little fun side note. So at my school right now, we're going to have a student staff conference next week. It's for all the ASI employees. And actually, I went to the conference in November, and this conference also starts at 8 a.m. It's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I was like, so the first thing they did is have music. So now they're going to have music at the conference. So hopefully it's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. But I'm also trying to get.
You can send me an invite to the conference too.
Yes. Honestly, that changes your whole perspective because it's all about the perspective. And if people are having fun, they're going to learn and they're going to want to be able to, they're going to absorb more information.
And it's not just. Exactly. And it's a great balance. It's there's some music involved, but there's a lot of professionalism is involved as well. and music, and then they stay for the advice and the connections that are brought. One thing I want to highlight is I remember going to the conference, and we were given a pamphlet with all the panelists who would come and give speeches. So there were people from the healthcare sector, there were people from the government sector, there were people from the education sector, and we were able to choose which panels we wanted to go to. And personally, for me, I wanted to attend all of them.
Me too. I remember the binder that we got to that was so helpful. I still have the binder now. It has all, like, different exercises, and I think it's important that after you learn things that you write them down. And I remember we even wrote that letter, our letter to ourselves.
Oh, right.
In the mail. I think ever since the conference, I've grown so much. So I want to see what my thinking was and what my goals were for myself and how I've achieved those. So I'm excited to get that letter and be like, wow, I made it.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. And we still have the GroupMe message of our specific peer learning group that we had, and we're still talking on it. And shout out Tracy.
We sent it out today, and Tracy just said earlier, she said, Mama Bear is proud of y'all because she's our Mama Bear.
Yes, she is.
So right before we close out, is there any, I just wanted to ask you, what do you think your purpose in life is? So, some people are here to entertain, serve, leader, be in leaders. Right. What do you think personally your purpose is? And what are you doing to?
So personally, I have a great, diverse array of goals. I'd like to start off, become an attorney, fight for justice, fight for the weak, fight for the oppressed, and ultimately, I believe the skill set that I possess and my ability that I believe to connect to people. I'd like to eventually go into politics and make change in the world. Represent, students, represent my community. That's what I feel the purpose is in life, is to serve other people. And oftentimes the best way to serve people is to become a leader in whatever community you are, whether you're in religion, whether you're in education, whether you're in law, whether you want to go into politics. I feel the purpose in life is to help other people. And as you help other people grow and you're positive, you surround yourself with good people, opportunities will come to you and you will grow yourself, and you'll have a sense of fulfillment in your heart that you were able to accomplish the goals that you had. And one thing about goals is you write down a list of goals and then you accomplish them. You don't just stop there. It never stops. You continue making goals, and that will give you a sense of fulfillment in life, and ultimately you'll be successful and happy.
Definitely.
Great.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Keisha. Thank you so much, Josh.
So
it was great talking to you guys. Oh, we're definitely gonna meet up.
Yeah, we definitely got to do that.
Absolutely.
So yes, Josh, is there anything you want to add before we leave? Maybe about your purpose webinar series?
Okay, yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah. First, I want to again, Saeed, thank you so much. Phenomenal interview.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Keisha.
Yes, powerful statement. Keisha, you did awesome, flowing in your Oprah interviewing style. Thank you so much. And this is what I want to say is, so we're doing a purpose webinar, how to find your purpose, starting in September. I think it's going to be pretty powerful. It's going to be 3 sessions for only $99. And really, I don't have to do it, but I'm doing it because I know a lot of people are trying to find their purpose. And there's just some things that I've learned that I think can help people discover their purpose and really get on that track where you're doing what your purpose to do, where you have a sense of purpose and fulfillment. And you know at the end of the day that you actually did something good and you left your mark in the world. So that information is available as well. Just inbox us here or comment and we'll get information to you about that. Also, for those who have not registered for Circle of Change, I want to encourage you to register. We're excited about this year. We're actually adding some new stuff, Saeed, some new stuff. We're actually having a town hall meeting this year. Where it's going to be a town hall meeting amongst leaders to talk about different political, social, and relevant issues. Because I think if you're going to be a leader, you got to talk about politics. You got to talk about social issues. And people don't always want to talk about that, but we have to talk about it. We also have what I call the Circle Talks. We're going to have 6 incredible women that are doing incredible work as far as leaders. And they're going to talk about leadership from their perspective on Friday night. And then we have some other awesome things that we're launching this year as well. So we're excited. We're excited.
Yes.
And we're excited.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, exactly. We're excited. Hopefully we're excited. And this year, what's good, Saeed, the conference is not on the same weekend as UCLA USC game. For the past few years.
Okay, that means I'm coming and I'm bringing some people too.
There we go. Yeah. This year, the conference, the football game won't be a problem, and that is a problem in Los Angeles, California. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. If you go to UCLA, USC, that trumps everything, no matter what it is. People are going to be at the football game. So I'm just grateful to be here. Love the energy. Love to hear your perspective. Hey. So I'm excited. This is the first one. We'll have so many more coming. So this is the first one.
I'm very excited. I just want to say, this $99 conference, for anyone thinking of going to this conference, think of it as an investment. Don't think of it as you're just wasting money. This is an investment. You're spending $99, but the skills that you'll be able to develop, the connections that you'll be able to develop, I can promise you that the amount of income and the amount of fulfillment that you'll have after attending this conference, it will surpass any amount of money you spend. I highly suggest people sign up for the Circle of Change Leadership Conference.
Yes.
Yes, I second that. Well, thank you everyone for being here, and everyone in the comments. We see you. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next Facebook Live series. So
yes.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.